Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of QuaranTIPS. This is our final episode of our mini-series. We've had a really fun time doing these videos. Be looking on our social media and our YouTube page about what is coming next. But before we get there, in this last episode, we want to talk about what can you do this summer with your kids. And I'm not saying sell them. Don't just drop them off at the bus station and let them go wild. I know they're probably driving you a little crazy and you've had them too much since school got out a little early. But what are some practical things to keep them engaged this summer and having fun and learning in this time? So why don't you check out my interview, my time with Jenai. Hey guys, I'm here with Jenai. Jenai is part of our church. She serves in our children's ministry, teaches a bunch of our kiddos, and she's been in children's ministry, in school districts, in various roles, and working in education, and really molding our future for almost 10 years. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, wow. I mean, how old are your kids now?
10 and 8.
And they're awesome. They're like one of the good kids that you're like, I wish my kids were that well behaved. I don't know what her secret is, but she's going to impart that on us in a little bit. But today we are joined by Jenai because we just want a few tips on what are some things you can do to keep your kids engaged this summer. And there's a lot around us, and maybe you're seeing this and you're like really overwhelmed and you're like, I don't know, I don't have any of that stuff in my house, but we're going to have Jenai just spend some time walking us through some simple, easy, cheap things we can do this summer to keep your kiddos entertained. So, have at it.
All right, so rule number 1 for summer for me is a library card. This is your summertime best friend. A lot of our library districts are getting ready to start a summer reading program. So definitely want to get those kiddos into some books. The key here is to find books that your kids are interested in. And that's what's great about summer reading. A lot of libraries are not currently open, but you can go place holds and then pick some books up, either drive up or curbside pickup. So those are great options for you.
And what I love about libraries is I have a 2 and 3 year old, and it's like any age.
Yes.
There are books, and then once they open and get into classes,
yes,
there's stuff for everyone.
And then also take advantage of your library's website. There are a lot of great apps. There's an app called Canopy that is like the Netflix for libraries. It has movies. There's educational shows on there. And there's also an app called Hoopla. Both Canopy and Hoopla have kids apps, like kids sites to them, and they have a variety of programming for children available, and it's all free. You just check these items out. And with the shutdown now, a lot of things are extended checkout, and they've extended the number of items that you can get. So that is your number 1 option for sure.
So number 1 option, all you need is a library card or go get one.
Yes.
Boom, easy, that's free.
Yeah, and if you use the apps, there's even audiobooks. Say you don't like to read, it'll read them to you. Ebooks, you can check them out online. You know, there's options. You don't want to read to your kids every night, put on an audiobook. They'll love that. Serious. So
I read to my kids every night, but sometimes when like I'm just ready for them to go to bed, do you just skip pages? Like turn like 4 at a time?
Mine know better. But if you put on the audiobook, you can speed it up. So you can check the speed, or you can put it on a nighttime mode and just do like a 30 minutes and then it'll go off on itself.
Because I like listen to podcasts at 2 times speed, so they're just getting prepared for later in life.
And yeah, they'll listen. Maybe they're listening, maybe they're not. Move on to the next book. Games. Games are really great. These games right here are great for learning in addition. So you've got your Yahtzee, you've got Scrabble Junior, Bananagrams, good word games. Uno, good for counting in colors. I definitely recommend those. Just sitting down with your family and playing games is a great way to just interact and just build those relationships and have those memories that you guys can build upon all summer long, because we're probably not going outside.
Where's Monopoly?
Monopoly's upstairs. But Monopoly is great, and there's Monopoly Junior, if you have younger kids, they're not going to sit there for the 3-hour-long binges of Monopoly.
I can't wait till my kids are old enough to play Monopoly and Risk.
Gavin is quite good.
Will not play either
Risk?
of those with me.
Nobody wants to play Risk.
What? You can dominate the whole world.
Yeah, that's
dominate the financial market, dominate the world. That's the goal of those games.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
So, and then continue learning. the summertime is great to continue learning. If you have little ones, this is a great time to really work on the alphabet. There's a bunch of little books that you can get, dot to dot things with the dry erase marker to keep them busy, little manipulatives to learn the alphabet, other manipulatives to maybe work on math. These, items I've gotten at Walmart. You can get them from the dollar store. I'm big on workbooks. Keep them in those workbooks, a sheet or two a day. This is a great time. I have my 10-year-old learning to do cursive because school district always keeps seeming to put that off every year. So it's really great. There's placemats so they can work on their words while they're sitting there eating.
Yeah.
Aha, cursive again. Dry erase, do your cursive. Dice are a great learning tool just to do math. Again, Yahtzee all over again. Just, throw some dice out there and show them. This is a great time to teach your children about money. Schools don't really teach that much anymore. And my son's getting ready to go in 3rd grade. They just got on the money thing. So take a little piece of paper, stick the money to it so they can know what it is. You can also do like a muffin tin of change and have your kids count some change into the muffin tins so then they learn. So they're not just, when they go out, they don't know what, $34.17 is. Yep. And they're just sitting there. So yeah, put these in a muffin tin, have them go through, drop their change in there, and see how that works out. Life skills. Have they learned to tie their shoes? Because no teacher wants to continually tie your child's shoes beyond kindergarten. So get something in front of them, a shoe. They tell you to mark the sides. There's plenty of videos on YouTube and stuff for that. Letters. Refrigerator magnet letters. Those are really great.
Words.
Yes.
And I think this is valuable every summer, but I think we're in a weird time with how the school year ended. Hopefully your kid still was able to do some distance learning wherever your student's at. But there's a lot, I think just a big gap of they didn't get all their curriculum or maybe didn't get it as intentionally during this last time. So this is a great summer to keep kids engaged so they're not going back in August further behind. That just sets them up to be kind of playing catch up all year next year. Yes.
And the districts have extended a lot of the websites, the time length on those, so you can use those well into the summer. I highly recommend continuing your kids using the Dreambox if they were using it. Zern, which was for math, any of the Amplify like reading or the Raz Kids, just so they can go on there and continually engage with the same kind of websites that they were using at school. We have a lovely little cart here that we put kind of all of our art supplies on. So my kids can just come run to it, get their crayons, get their pencils, grab their paper pads, get back to coloring, get back to drawing. There's a dictionary. Take and let your kids tell them, pick 5 words and make them define them. That it expands their vocabulary. It helps them increase their spelling, things like that. Flashcards are still great, especially if you have a kid still trying to work on multiplication. Teachers really want these memorized by 3rd grade, and you can definitely get well into that before they're of that age. There are a lot of great websites that have lots of craft options. So Pinterest would be like a really great best friend. There's lots of crafts that you can do without buying stuff. My kids make junk bots, and junk bots are basically things that are made from the recycled items and the stuff that we're not going to use anymore. Screws, bottle caps, bottles. Get down there and get crafty. Stuff doesn't have to cost a lot of money. Go to the dollar stores, buy workbooks, buy the craft products, buy the markers.
On Friday, I took a paper plate and a piece of string, had my kids color them, and then we just cut in a circle, and then they had snakes that literally entertained them for 3 hours. It was fantastic.
You can do the glue on the plate and do salt, and color the salt, paint the salt, do sugar, something like that. Little things. Everything doesn't have to be like super expensive. There's a website for a lady here. It's called primaryplayground.com, and she has a bunch of scavenger hunts on there. Oh, cool. And that's great. So scavenger hunts you can do around the house. You don't have to go outside. I mean, we have 2 challenges here. We have the heat and we have to stay at home. So it's like, let's do the things that we can do while we're staying at home. Scavenger hunts are fun. Little bitty crafts are fun. Water play is one of those things that we can still do in the house. Say you don't live, in a house that has a pool, or your apartment's pool is not open. Stick a kid in the bathtub, no water in the bathtub. Give them some cups, let them play with a little bit of water. And some kids are really into that. Others aren't. But see, you can put a shower curtain down, give them some Play-Doh, let them play on the floor in the house, pull the shower curtain up, and you're good to go. My kids like to play with kinetic sand. That's got to go outside. But they do have a case for it, and I mean, if I have to, they'll still do it on the shower curtain or a dollar tablecloth and pick that up and throw it out.
I like that so many of these activities are interactive, things that we're touching, actually doing worksheets or doing papers or games, because it's so easy to be tempted to just give a kid a tablet right now, give them some sort of electronics and just say, hey, entertain yourself for a while. But engaging their brain in different ways. Now, with that said, obviously some of the summertime is going to be spent with maybe TV or with tablets. What would you recommend as some good, maybe educational and safe areas that on a tablet are some activities or things that kids can do?
PBS Kids has a whole thing. They have games on there that are related to their TV shows. Discovery Channel has a great website, I think, for kids, Discovery Kids. National Geographic has the area for kids, and I know there's different games on these. There's a website also called Wonderopolis that we got from the school district, and they have a bunch of different things on there to explain about how things work. And there's all these virtual field trips right now that we can go on. So you can still go to SeaWorld or, ride those rides on Legoland because those things are available online. You can go look at the Louvre in France and see the museums and stuff like that. It's cheap right now. You don't have to fly or take your shoes off. So if you even put them on. So those are great options. I know I hear a lot of people say on YouTube they have the Just Dance game, because you don't have to buy the game. You can just go on there and dance with the videos. And so that's another good fun thing. You can always just turn the lights down and turn the music up and have a good old dance party.
I'm telling you, I have a dance party with my 2 and 3-year-old all the time.
And that's fun. They love it. They love it.
They're good dancers. Almost as good as me, not quite.
I mean, we have these kids and they're really tied to technology, but I think what's happened is kids haven't changed. We've changed the way that we have parented them. So we've introduced a lot of unnecessary things. Go back to doing the things that we used to do. I let my kid run through the sprinklers yesterday, and he thought it was the best thing in the world. We put a tent up in the backyard over the weekend and just watched on the tablet out there. But this is a good time to introduce those movies, those classics from your childhood. Yeah. And show them that. Like, my kids are all into Back to the Future right now. Donovan wants a DeLorean. Even better if you find a book that has a movie to it. Yeah. That's really great, because then you've read it together and then you get to watch it and see.
You're going to read through all Lord of the Rings and watch them all together?
I don't think I can get through that. But I do love them.
Every time.
I love the movies.
In The Mines of Moria, in The Fellowship of the Ring, she falls asleep every single time. Now, we do have extended cut, which is about 4 hours each movie. But still, it is gold, I'm just saying.
But I did do Call of the Wild. And that was actually really good.
I heard good things about that.
Yes.
Well, here's what's so cool, is I think this is a really difficult time. This is a hard summer. Maybe you're already tired of your kids, and they've been at home already for a long time. You're like, how am I going to make it through these months? There are so many easy activities that you can do around the house. There's so much free stuff right now, probably more than any summer we've ever had, of being pushing out content for families. And this is just a great time where I think we can grow closer this summer in our families and be able to engage our kids in greater ways.
Yeah. So. You can definitely, just get in the kitchen and bake. It's time to teach them, some of those life skills that you kind of like, why am I always doing this for you? Start teaching them to do the things for themselves.
Feed yourself. We're done with
Yes, teach them.
I tell Aria that every Friday.
Teach them how to make a grilled cheese sandwich so they can just fulfill their hunger pains and not bother you every 10 seconds. Or work on a whole recipe together. We're supposed to make pretzels because they love pretzels.
There you go.
And they like to do that.
I like it. Well, I want to say thank you for your time. Thanks for giving us some good tips that we can kind of take into this summer and hopefully make it a memorable one.
Hopefully.
Thank you, guys.